All right, folks, welcome back to the Be the Bike podcast presented by Ridge Supply. My name is Matt Hawkins. I'm the owner of Ridge Supply. On this side here is Mr. Jordan Spoon, who's the man behind our Ridge Supply Instagram for Ridge Supply Arsenal. It's our ambassador group. And we have three Arsenal members here, Gene Caffery, Jay McCloy, and Alan Simons. They all just completed a 240-mile ride to raise awareness for and some funds for MS research. They had two big events this year, the Tour de Tanglewood and the MS 150 out of New Bern that couldn't go forward. So they were honoring that by doing this event. It's hard enough to ride 240 miles. I've done 200. That's been my biggest. But I can imagine 240 is pretty extreme, and I can only imagine doing it with MS is a whole nother level. And Gene, you do have MS, and I think people need to have some firsthand account of why that is so difficult. And so could you explain like how and when you got diagnosed and how it affects your riding now?
Yeah, sure. So I was diagnosed in February of 2010. And before I was diagnosed, I was heavily into Ironman. I had worked my way up into the Ironman distance and had done one Ironman triathlon, and I was heading into my next one, which was going to be in November of 2009 at Ironman, Florida, down in Panama City. And through the whole time of training for it, I just had some crazy feelings, didn't know what was going on. I just thought it was from all this endurance training, because it's not a question of if you're going to get hurt, it's when. You're just always beating yourself up. So I just thought that's what it was. So I went to Ironman Florida and came out of the water. It's a 2-loop swim, hit the beach, and I had no legs left. My legs went numb on me. My feet went numb on me. I couldn't feel them. I was cramping. And I just kept fighting through it for the rest of the day on the bike and the run. Got through the race and found out when I got home, my feet were still numb. I couldn't feel them. So that was in November. It took me till February to actually get my butt to the doctor. Signed up for a couple marathons, tried to run a marathon, didn't work out, and went to see a doctor and was pretty much diagnosed the next day that I had MS, and that's why I couldn't feel anything in my feet. And I did some research on exercise in MS, endurance athletics and MS, trying to make sure that I could still do what I love. And I did find some stuff that really inspired me. And from that day forward, I made sure that my goal was to never stop and to always inspire others to find some way to move. The only time I feel horrible is when I'm not on the bike. When I'm on the bike, it's the only time I forget I have MS. So at one time, it was everything. I did running, I did biking, I did swimming, but MS has slowly taken away some of that from me. I can't run anymore because my left leg has got a little bit of foot drop, and I just turn my ankle and I fall too much. But cycling, we have a saying on my MS Global team, which is one of my big teams that I ride with for MS fundraising, is believe in the power of the bike. And it's the strongest thing for me. I take great medications to help my MS, but the best part of my treatment plan is the bike. And then the other part of my treatment plan that's great is your support system, your family, your extended family, Arsenal, all my friends in MS Global, all my friends in Bike MS. It just makes you a stronger person, keeps your attitude great. You need to have a great attitude with MS. If you don't have a good attitude, it's going to make your symptoms worse. So that's the way I look at life. That's the way I've looked at it since the day I was diagnosed. I was in a funk for maybe 2 days. I met everybody in my MS Global group, which is headed up by Tyler Hamilton, and we have had a group of 10 or 15 other people with MS that ride in a different place every year. I just take your socks all over the world and get pictures of them with them. And exercise and movement makes a difference with MS. Those of you who have met me have seen my leg. I have a tattoo on the back of my leg. I have it written on the side of my bike that says "Every step beats MS." For me, that came from a long distance run. I was trying to get ready for that marathon, and I went out too far thinking I didn't have MS, and then I realized I do, and I couldn't get home, and I started chanting in my head, "Every step beats MS." Before I know it, a mile went by, then the next mile, and the next mile, and I got home. So on that day, it was a physical meaning, right? but it quickly in my head became, that's my mantra for me and for inspiring others, because that step was physical, but then it became just, if you have MS or of anything, if you want to live your best life with MS, take that next step. So every step you take to help yourself is beating MS. So that's where biking comes in for me, cycling, friends, family. It just makes me better. And it's almost like when I was diagnosed, it made me a better person.
Yeah.
Is it common that people will experience symptoms and not self-diagnose or seek professional help for a while, like in your situation? Like you said, it took you months to kind of.
And then when they told me when I had it, it actually took me 10 or 12 years, because they said I had it for 10 or 12 years before I had that major attack during the Ironman. Oh, by the way, I set a PR on that Ironman, even though I had a MS attack. Yeah, it's very normal. It's very hard to diagnose, and Jay and Alan will talk about that as well. It's so many things are like MS. So I was lucky. They found so many. Sounds funny I'm saying I'm lucky, because they found so many lesions in my brain and in my spine, so many MS things that could be probable MS, that they were able to figure it out quick. Some people it takes years to figure out, and you don't know what's going on. Like I just didn't complain about stuff. I found I used to pass out in hot water. Like they found me in my gym twice, passed out on the floor after being in the hot tub. And then when I found out, that's how they used to test patients for MS. See because you can't handle heat. So that comes into play in cycling. You have to be able to figure out how to handle heat, which Alan's thinking of starting at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you've told me about that when you and I rode together, Gene, about how one of the days that you and I rode together, it was probably well over 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And you were even telling me that day how the heat was really getting to you, and was just kind of bothering you that day.
I call it my MS switch. I picture the switch on my back, and when it hits, it's like I go from 100% strength to I'm done. And you just got to get into air conditioning or cold water, something. And it comes back, but it's cycling is better than running. Running was much worse. But cycling, at least you're moving, you get some airflow, and you can really work on the fluids and the electrolytes and certain clothing that will help keep you cool. But it's something that people with MS have to deal with. But the benefits of moving and doing exercise far outweighs any of that, because without it, I'd be a wreck with MS. Cycling is definitely the biggest part of my family is the biggest part of my treatment plan, but the cycling is the next biggest thing, and then I would put the medication after that, and then just being healthy.
That's awesome. So Jay, tell us a little bit about your situation. You've got a double-edged sword there. Your wife and your brother both have MS, correct?
Yeah, so my wife was diagnosed in 2010 as well. She started having just some neurologic symptoms in her right leg. She was stubborn, like most people are, didn't think anything of it. And she didn't finally go to the doctor until she lost her vision in one of her eyes. And then she went to the eye doctor. And then he ordered an MRI because the eye was fine. And that's when they found the lesions. It wasn't as long as Gene's diagnosis took. But it was a few months. And then my brother was similar. He lost vision in his left eye, and then he got diagnosed, and that was in 2011. So it was within 6 months they were both diagnosed, October 10 and then April of 11. And I picked up the bike, I think that March of 11. And that's when, because my stepfather actually does bike MS down in Jacksonville, Florida. So he got me started on the bike, and that's what way it's been. So my wife battled early on with a lot of the symptoms. She'd have every 6 months, she'd have a major relapse, the MS hug. I mean, Gene's probably as well aware of that. A lot of fatigue, couldn't deal with the heat. And then it's been about 5 years ago now, she changed her meds, and she's been really good since. And she's doing a lot of exercise now, and that's helping even more. And she's just become more and more active. It's been really good for her, the latest change in medicine, which has allowed her to be more active as well. So
is there a correlation between like the bike events and there's a lot of running events too, right? That are MS support. Yeah. Is there a correlation between like Gene's mentioning in the treatment plan of being active helps?
Yes.
Or is that just helps certain people? I was just wondering if that is part of the.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a big switch. 20 years ago, they would have told you to go sit down and you'll hurt yourself if you exercise. Now, there's a definite rule thought where exercise, movement, finding the best way to do stuff like that is definitely helpful. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, stimulating the nerves, just keeping the nerves stimulated helps. So
Okay.
it keeps them firing, keeps them active.
Okay, cool. And Alan, you also are affected by this, and tell us a little bit about your situation.
Yeah, and in my situation, it affected my sister, probably, I guess, 18, 20 years now. She was on a trip visiting my father out in California, and she had the vision issue. She actually lost full vision during the episode. So from that point on, it's like, okay, well, what's going on? So the MRIs were checked, so they saw the lesions, and shortly after that, she was diagnosed with MS. So I agree with the exercise part of this totally with Gene and everybody else. I think it keeps those muscles moving, everything firing, just like Jay said. In my sister's case, we'll backtrack just a little. She did get on a little bit of exercise program. I know she started, exercising, maybe doing some lifting and all that, just to help slow the progression. I mean, in her case, yeah, the vision did come back, but the progression, it evolves every year. It gets a little tougher. She suffers now. Every now and then she's got to watch for clots now, blood clots and everything else like that. So the medicine's expensive. This is kind of one of the things why we do what we do for MS. That's what I got on that.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys all sharing your individual story. We're going to definitely have to do one more of these and get into how you can help get involved in some events, why the events are important, and then we'll certainly put up some links to some donations. Jay, you still have an active donation platform right now, right? Do you guys all three have
Yeah,
those?
we all do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gave Jay some money. I mean, I know it's all going the same place. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey,
Y'all can spread it. You can spread it up.
But on top of it, you did something last year that I want to mention. That thing you did for the test sock. She was an active member of our I Ride with MS team out of and it tragically was killed in a motorcycle accident. That test sock has become basically the go-to MS sock now. People all over the place have it.
I wore mine on Saturday.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
I have to get some more because I put a hole through it though. But
I have to buy 3 pair for incentives for people donating to me. I have to draw a raffle here in the next couple of days.
There you go.
On top of that was cool. So cool that you did that so fast. And all my people on my MS Global team have it. There's people all over the country that have that just because of that and its connection to MS. And it helps her name live on.
That's cool. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Gene, Jay, Alan, and Jordan. This is the end of episode 18. It's crazy. 18. And we're gonna be back to cover a little bit more with these guys here in a second. So we look forward to seeing you there. If you need to subscribe, I think it's down here. Subscribe down here, and the new videos over this way. And we'll be back with the Be the Bright podcast. Thank you.